bevo.com.
Once you've identified a sector that you want to challenge in, how do you create a strategy in order for you to come up with the tactics and the ideas and the innovation to enable you to become number one in that space?
Yeah, I think with innovation, I am not precious where an idea comes from. Right, some of the best ideas are stolen ideas, and look, the people who originally were working on building, the likes of Love Film and Screen Select and DVD 365 and DVDs on tap, lots of companies that came around, 5 or 6 years ago when this was all starting off, saw what was happening in the US with Netflix and said, there is a great model here. How can we make this work in the UK and how can we make it work in other areas? And have done we've done a fantastic job of executing it and improving it and changing it and making it work. So ideas can come from externally. Ideas can come from internally, and part of the things, if there's good ideas for innovation, and innovation can be on a macro level, business strategy innovation, or it can be on a micro level, which is actually if we change the tags on something, we actually had, here's a good example of where innovation is. We had stickers on our DVDs, and as we merged companies together, etc., we had to get those stickers off, and they were a pain to peel off and do that. And the guy who runs our distribution centre went home, and his wife had one of those facial sauna steam things that you put your head in and you do that. And he put his DVD on and he came off easy, in a fraction of the time. So he then went on to eBay and he bought himself 10 facial sauna steamers, right? And they lined them up in the business and they held it on for 5 seconds and they pulled it off and they held it on for 5 seconds. Now that's, right, it doesn't change our business strategy, but it's a great way of just thinking about solutions and making it work. And I gave him an innovation reward and recognition for doing that type of initiative because it saved us thousands of pounds in terms of man hour and everything else. And that's a little example of where innovation can be huge in terms of new idea, new business model, better customer experience, or incredibly micro to solve a particular problem that the customer has or initiative that you need to work through. And you've got to try and get the balance of working both, because not everybody feels as though they are empowered to rework their business strategy or their business model or changing those other things. But a lot of people have fantastic ideas of how to do things better, how to give a better customer experience, how to make something work in a slightly different way that will be cost effective or better for you in terms of the business. And we've just got to encourage those type of things.
When it comes to using customers to come up with ideas to improve your product and service, we interviewed Edward de Bono, and he said customers can be fantastic at telling you what's wrong with your product and service, but not always great to tell you how to improve it and what you should do in terms of new ideas to carry your business forward. Would you concur with that?
The thing that always amazes me, and I'll come back to passion again, the thing that always amazes me is how much passion our customers have for the service that we provide. Right, and they all come up with great ideas of things we can do better and things that we can improve. Now, often it's sort of tempered, topped and tailed with I'm dissatisfied of leads because I haven't got X and Y. Why don't you do X? To improve things, and we need to look at that. And we have, people in our customer service area who look at these and sort of come up with ideas and share them between. What I do is every week we pick the best customer comments and the worst customer comments that we have in that week, and we circulate it to everybody in the organisation. Because what I want people to see is how customers rate our service, both positively and negatively. And the interesting thing for me is the immediacy of a reaction you get. So an all-staff email goes out, these are the top 5 things and the top negative things we have. And the way we break it down is we break it down by our values of example of Love Film as an innovator, as having an all-star cast, of being famous for the right stuff, about being passionate, about those type of things. We break it down so that, again, it's an opportunity to reinforce the values based on what our customers are telling us, both positive and negative. And the emails that come around from people saying, that issue that Mr. Smith of Leeds just wrote in about, actually, we've got a solution we've been working on, we're just going to go publish it next week, and this is how we've been doing it. Thanks everybody for your work on doing that. Great, we solved a customer issue. Right? And visibility, ownership of the customer experience has to be everybody's responsibility, and that's a great example of how we can make that work.
bevo.com